What's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I hope you really enjoyed it. Um, you guys already know what this is. This is Married to Medicine. We're going to make this very short and very sweet. It wasn't really a whole lot. I think next week will be way more impactful. If you're just stopping by new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it, as well as that little bell next door. I don't do a lot of videos, so you definitely want to be alerted when I do drop gems out there, as well as hit that thumbs up button. That's super important on these YouTube streets. And as usual, comment down below. I'm about to after I do this upload, go and respond to comments on my Yana Van Zant video. It seems like some people have some really meaty things to say. I usually like to wait for them to build up a little bit before I comment. So just know that I'll usually give you a preliminary heart, and then I'll go back and talk a little bit more about your comment and your perspective. So we're going to do that after I do this upload. But let me not hold you any longer. I've got my timer vest on. I wear this vest so I can see my timer when I wear light colored things. But anyway, this episode really wasn't a lot. As a matter of fact, I don't even know what the name of this episode is. I didn't even think to look for it. Basically, this is the episode where Heavenly decides to take Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone down to Miami per Dr. K, aka Dr. My instructions. He wanted her to go back to the root of everything, her family home in Miami and all of that. And so we get to see that moment. Thus the title, Heavenly Homecoming. So yeah, season 6, episode 5, Heavenly Homecoming. We are going to talk about Heavenly and Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie's trip down to Miami later on. Let's talk about Toya first. Toya and Eugene have a $2 million budget for their home, the new home, their forever home, and they've decided to build in Alpharetta. I worked in Alpharetta. Some of the best jobs are in Alpharetta. When Alpharetta was first built out, we just got the mall and a couple of places to eat, and then the rest were trees. And we had two main captains of industry that was out there, and that was GTE and ADP, I think, two companies. But since then, Alpharetta has grown. It has split off. It's got a town inside of town, which is Milton, Georgia, and it is very affluent. So, y'all know Cynthia Bailey. Lake Bailey is in Alpharetta. Alpharetta is the new up and coming suburb for people who have money and they want a little bit more property and a little bit more land. This home that Toya and those have, I think, is 3 levels, a pool. She wants a 2-level, split level closet, and he's got a pool house that has a grill deck on it. It's going to be completely built out. Right now, it's just foundational slab. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful home. I'm happy for Toya and Gregory. Not Gregory. Ooh, Eugene. Child. Now don't say Gregory. Toya and Eugene. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful home. Absolutely, positively no mention of the conversation that she had with Contessa on this last week. That little blow up that she and Contessa had. We don't even bring it up at all in this episode. Neither her nor Contessa. Mariah takes Lauren, her oldest baby, to see Dr. Simone. She's going into high school. She wants to have Dr. Simone have some conversation with her. Y'all know Dr. Simone is a gynecologist. But really, it's just about introducing her to her who will be her doctor, and knowing that she could trust the doctor, and just seeing some things that she may have to go through, a young woman or up and coming woman. I don't want to say she's a woman yet, she's in high school, but as a female that she may have to encounter through her high school years. So it was a good visit. um yeah, that's the last we see of Mariah and Toya. We do get to visit with Simone a little bit at home. Simone and Cecil are getting along a lot better. Cecil is without a job. Their son Miles is still in school, and he's doing like freshmen do, and the youngest son is there with them. We're finding that Cecil is spending a lot more time over at the South House with her. And she's worried that she's not going to be able to transition back into being in the house with family again, considering they kind of been living apart and she's had her own space. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so they working on that, trying to bring it all back together. Um, Dr. Jackie, let's talk about Contessa. We see Contessa. I love Contessa and Scott's relationship. I find it to be very, very loving, and I also find it to be very intimate. They seem to be each other's best friend. I think that's one of the reasons why we haven't included the ladies. She hasn't included the ladies in on what's going on with her. Also, I think there may be some trust issues where that is concerned. Mostly, I think it's because she's got Scott. She's got Scott, and she really doesn't have to necessarily cling to the ladies as much, because she and Scott seem to be pretty solid as a couple. We see her go into the doctor's office, and it's a tough conversation. You can tell she's nervous and she's worried, and she keeps throwing the conversation out there to him. He's nervous, he's worried. I think he would like for her to wait. I think he would like for her to just wait and see. But at the same time, he knows and he loves her so much. He knows how worried she is. Her mom died from breast cancer. Her father has newly been diagnosed with prostate cancer. And she's just afraid that this is not a bullet she will be able to dodge. So she's decided to have a bilateral, which is two, total mastectomy, which means they're going to remove both of her breasts. Now, I think what they do is go in and remove the entire, I'm not sure of the actual details, but this is what I'm gathering from her talking to the doctor. Remove the entire um, scope of her breast tissue, like totally remove her breast tissue and maybe replace it um, with something else that it wouldn't form cancer, because they were talking about going in with the nipple and her not being cut on, and so she that's why I gather it was just going to be basically going in and removing all of that breast tissue and replacing it. um she is going to be have to stay in the hospital overnight, and it'll take about a good solid 4 weeks for her to be completely healed and back on her feet. She was excited about saving her nipples. It's just y'all know my mom had breast cancer. It's just a horrible decision. It's a horrible decision for a woman to have to make. And it's inexcusable that we haven't found a way to beat this. We haven't made this a priority in this country. Fighting this cancer, coming up with a cure for cancer, and prohibiting cancer causing agents from being used in our food, in our water, in our land and resource systems. Like it's horrible. It's horrible considering how much we pay into the system. And anyway, it's just a terrible decision, and I hate that she had to make it later on. At the end of the episode, we see that her doctor calls and there's a slot for her, and she's got like a day and a half before the surgery. This is the time slot. They've got a spontaneous a spot open, and she is nervous. She is at that moment where you wanted this for 10 years. You really believe this is something you have to do. But now that we're on it, you can tell that she's visibly shaken. And I just think it's really, really sad, even though she has her husband and she loves her husband and they're good friends. I think it's really sad that Toya brought her on the show, but she doesn't have an awareness at all that this is what's going on with her friend. Like it's not it's not good. It's not good. Anyway, so that's Contessa. Let's see. All the guys get together. um, all of the husbands get together and they decide that they're going to bring in Dr. Gregory, who is Quad's husband, and they're going to have like a men's night where they eat and smoke cigars and drink scotch and Hennessy and chat it up. Prior to this, we see Dr. Jackie receiving Quad. Quad comes over, and Dr. Jackie just wants to sit down and have a heart to heart with Quad. And Quad tells her, it's really difficult for me to lean on people. It's really, really difficult for me to depend on people because you guys have your own thing. And, you know, she feels like she should handle it herself. And I can see both sides of it. I understand where Quad is coming from because I'm a very private person, and I just feel like once you get in your mind that you want to rely on people, the moment they're not there for you, you feel some type of way. So to me, I just let things out little by little, and it works better for me to have friends that allow me to do that. I'm gonna share things with you, but it will never ever be by force. And that's just the way that I am. You know what I mean? I'm never going to call you in the middle of the night and be like, I need you to come get me. I'm the kind of person that suffers through. And eventually, little by little, I let you in on what's going on. So I understand what Quad is saying. At the same time, Dr. Gregory is calling her, and Jackie is noticing it, and she's pointing it out. The first time she swipes him off, and the second time she picks up, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And she's just like, "I mean, did you want something? Do you want something?" And you know, I do believe that Quad loves Gregory. I don't think Quad has been in love with Gregory in a very, very long time. I think she had this idea that it was going to be great. She decided a long, long time ago that this wasn't something that she wanted forever. I think that's why she decided not to have a child a long time ago with this man. And I think she's playing the cards that she's dealt. She knows she's got to put on for this show. She knows she's got to put on to get anything from Dr. Gregory financially. And she does feel like she's entitled to something financially. And just like the start of their relationship, the end of it is going to be the same way. It's hellish. When we first saw Dr. Gregory and Quad, season 1, they was getting locked up together for domestic issues and fighting and carrying on. They've had a hellish relationship for a while. So I personally am not surprised that they having a hellish divorce. I'm not surprised that Quad is giving him what for. Because Quad, I feel like, did some things that pushed Dr. Gregory to a place where he did some things and now he has to pay for them. I think she fully expected these things to jump off. I do. I do. She's so much smarter than he is. She's way, way, way more better. She's way better at this game. She's way better at throwing the rocks, hiding your hand, blame game, playing the victim, just playing. She's just better at it. And he knows it. He knows that he's very unsure. He's very insecure around her. He's very much a, Neanderthal man. He's no match for Quad. He's no match for Quad. With all of his intellect, emotionally, he is no match for Quad. She's already won. So, we're just waiting for this thing to be over and for it to play out. That's all. She's saying Gregory knows that I'm 10 seconds away from filing a divorce. We all know that, Quad. You're just waiting on the right timing. That's what it seems like to me. So we see all the guys get together for this fish fry and male powwow. And of course, Gregory comes in. He asks Curtis how they're doing, he and Jackie. And Curtis says it's getting better and better every day. And Gregory says, well, what's your advice for me? And then Curtis tells him it's a lot of time, a lot of patience, and you got to pay attention to all the little details about them. In other words, you have to spend a good year or so bootlicking, making up for the pain that you caused, and just recognizing how damaging it was to her. The only thing is that it's not going to work for Dr. Gregory because the quad is not in love with him anymore. There's absolutely nothing he can do outside of transforming himself and his mediocre penis, because more than one person now has said that he's got a less than stellar penis. I think Quad felt like she could live with that. I'm just being honest with y'all. Just being honest. If y'all was sitting on my front porch, we'd be having the same conversation. Um, you know, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that there's nothing he can do, but there is absolutely nothing he can do. Nothing at all. He needs to just give her what she wants, let her go on about her business, and it is what it is. But we got to do this for camera. We got to do this for stunts and shows. So I think it was good. All of the advice that everyone gave him. He says he really wants to. He loves and admires his wife, but and he wants her to, what does he say? He wants to, he's frustrated and he wants Quad to desire him. This is what I'm saying about the penis. She's not she's not missing anything. Like, she gonna let him work, see how much he gonna do to try to get back in. This is a part of it. Like, this is the next step. It's like the 5 stages of grief. So she's going through these, stages of breaking up, this textbook. She's going about it in a textbook way. He doesn't have a chance in hell of getting Quad back. No, if he win the lottery, maybe. And I'm not calling her a gold digger. I'm just saying you can look over a lot more when you got resources. I think she just can't stand him. I think he get on her nerves. I think he get up under her skin because he want her so much more than she want him. I think it pisses her off that he just doesn't have the resources to be that white knight that she want him to be tall and handsome and stellar. You know what I'm saying? She married the first doctor she came across. And now she's paying the price for it. But she seemed like she got a solid plan to get up out of this thing. So we're gonna see it all pan out. Um, let's see. I think that's it, except we see Heavenly. Heavenly is her son comes over. She has this little conversation she does with each of her kids. This is her son that goes to Georgia State, and it's so funny to see Damon come in and see his son. He's so excited to see his son. He loves his son. He's an odd looking kid, and his mom keeps pushing him about the little girls that he's bringing home. But hold that thought, Heavenly. Hold that thought. Um, Heavenly also has a talk with Damon about the trip to Miami, and he supports her in it, as well as when she's getting ready to leave. He does the customary, I think I'm going to miss you. I don't want you to go. This other thing, Heavenly House. I don't know. I think Heavenly trying to keep her house clean herself. It's no way you got a housekeeper and you got all that junk on your dresser. Like, I'm just looking around Heavenly's house, and it just, I don't know. I can see what Mariah was saying a little bit. I think she's trying to keep her house clean herself, and I think it's apparent that her house is being kept up by a very, very busy individual. Okay, so she, Simone, and Dr. Jackie get on the plane and they head down to Miami, and they got a convertible, they got a 2-bedroom suite, in this beautiful hotel facing the ocean. Heavenly has ordered a beautiful spread for the room. Way too much food for them. I hope they didn't waste that food. Um, and it's supposed to be a trip with people that she feels safe with, that she feels a friendship with, and she feels comforted by. But immediately when Dr. Jackie kind of goes into her spiel and goes over things, Dr. Jackie's a planner, so she want to go over the agenda. What are your plans? How do you feel about it? She wants to talk it all through and map it all out and have a good idea of what to expect. And the conversation kind of bounces around about the fact that Heavenly can be very, very biting, and she tends to attack with her words, and bitch, 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 your mama, your mama, your mama, bitch, 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 bitch. And we find out quite by accident through this conversation that Heavenly Mom regularly called her a bitch. Me personally, my mom never did that. But when I got to college one year, my first year, and you have a phone in the hallway and the phone rang and somebody randomly picks it up. It happens to be me. And my girlfriend Octavia from St. Petersburg, Florida, her mom was on the phone. And I was like, hello. And she was like, let me speak to Octavia. And I was like, Octavia is not here. I knew that they had all gone out to like the student center party, and she was like, you tell that bitch when she get back she best to call me. I was like, oh, I didn't know how I was gonna relay the message, because where I came from, you calling somebody bitch was fighting words. Like, how am I gonna relay this message to her and incorporate the word bitch? But I feel like I got to, because her mama told me to tell her. Like, I had never experienced that because my parents never cursed at me like that. So I see where Dr. Heavenly is coming from, and it says a lot. I think next episode we're gonna see things open up a lot more where Dr. Heavenly is concerned and understanding her. I'm looking forward to it. Many of you may know that I kind of interviewed Dr. Heavenly, in that I was looking for a dentist. And so I tried her office out. And it wasn't a good fit for me because I found her to be abrasive, and to be, she just wasn't the kind of dentist that I wanted. So, left with that residual taste in my mouth. I'm anxious to see where some of that aggression and some of that abrasiveness is coming from. So I'm excited about next episode. After they have this conversation about her mom calling her a bitch regularly, and she's saying it's commonplace to her, like it's regular conversation, like it's no big deal. It doesn't hurt her because she was always called it. It was always a word that was bantered around. And Dr. Jackie was trying to continue on with her pseudo therapy or understanding of it, and um, Heavenly just switched on Dr. Jackie and was like, well, I'd rather you just say the word bitch than to come out of your mouth the way you come out of your mouth sometimes. And Dr. Jackie was like, well, you're projecting onto me. I was like, that's right. Call her out. Ding her on it every time. I think Mariah meets it with aggression, and it just makes it worse with Dr. Heavenly. But when Jackie retorts in this really intelligent way, it kind of diffuses it for Heavenly. So y'all tell me what you think of this episode. Like I said, it wasn't much. I did enjoy it, but at the same time, I'm ready to get down to some meat and potatoes. I really enjoyed the men's conversation altogether. I love that about this show, is that we get to see a lot of the husbands. Y'all tell me what you think. What do y'all think about Contessa and what she's going through? What do you guys think about this Miami trip? And what do you guys think about Quad and Gregory? What do you think about my brief synopsis of what I think is going on? Put it down below. I'd love to hear it. Until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I'll holla.